Hey, I'm Riggers, thanks for dropping in. Today I want to go through this video I recorded back in August. I've got footage here from a bundle of games I bought. So you can see it's a lot of stacks of a lot of games from a variety of different systems. And each of these games were all bought from the same bundle. So this was something I stumbled across on eBay. It cost £144, I think. And as you can see, we've got a wide variety of stuff. From Left 4 Dead 2, just that alone is worth about £10 to £15. We've got The Getaway, Black Monday, we've got Battlefield 3, Fight Night Champion, Quantum of Solace on the 360, Fallout New Vegas, The Amazing Spider-Man 2, which is worth I think about 10-15 quid again. So there's quite a few individual games which are worth about £10 or £15 just individually. Now, it only takes having 10 of those games and they've already more than made my money back and more than got my value for money from this bundle. Looking across, we've got Prince of Persia: The Warrior Within, Super Mario Galaxy, that goes for a bit, well, I might have come down a bit in value now given the Switch re-release. The original Burnout Paradise, which I was happy to have because the remaster crammed in all the DLC for free right at the start of the game and it ruins the progression of the game. The Game of the Year edition of Dead Island, the original Modern Warfare, Mass Effect Andromeda, Condemned 2, which I remember as a kid and I've always wanted to play again. Mario Strikers Charged Football, and there's a wide variety of stuff there. And all the stuff in these stacks is games that... Oh, there's also New Super Mario Brothers for the Wii, again, on Minecraft, again worth like 10-15 quid each. So, a wide variety of stuff. Lots of good quality, and everything in the stacks was stuff for me to just put on the shelf straight away. Games I knew I was going to play, I was planning to keep, and I was really happy with. And then we get over here and I've got this huge jumble of games, this mismatched stack. You can see, oh, don't mind someone just exploding the firework outside, wherever that was. So we've got a variety of different things here, from Dishonored, DJ Hero, various FIFAs. We've got a few duplicate things I already own, like Mario and Sonic at the Olympics, Rayman Raven Rabbids 2, Call of Duty Black Ops 2, Sonic and the Secret Rings, Halo 2, things I already own, Halo 3 again, physical copies of anyway, and I already have on my shelf, or a couple of them I have digitally on Steam. But it was about 5 or 6 duplicate physical copies here that I didn't need. Okay, maybe about 10 actually, 10 or 11, something like that. And there was things that are more shovelware-y. There's a couple of duplicate copies of Gran Turismo 5 Prologue in there. I already owned one of them. So a variety of different duplicates I didn't necessarily need. If you've seen my previous video, the one I uploaded directly before this that I filmed the other day, a lot of the games that you'll see in this video, in the complete form here, I've since downsized and thrown the plastic cases away and put the cover manuals and discs into my discs binder. So these are games that are either I consider miscellaneous, aren't as important to me, I don't want them on my shelf, but I would like to have them, or are duplicates, which I may or may not need in the future. Call of Duty 3 for the PlayStation 2 is visible on this video as well, but I've since thrown that away because the disc was so badly damaged, and I'm pretty sure the cover art was mouldy and damp as well. It's the same for the PlayStation 2 copy of Bully I got in this bundle, and Lego Pirates of the Caribbean, I think for the Wii. I don't think that appears in this video at all, but I did end up having to throw that away as well because there was just no saving it, unfortunately. Now, as the video goes along, it pans to what seems to be a very random collection of 3 PlayStation 1 games and a totally unrelated PlayStation 3 game, PlayStation Move game. Though these things I highlighted separately because they were things that the seller threw in for free after I'd already paid the £144, which includes postage by the way, for this bundle of games. So these were just random extras, and The Sims 4 as well, but of course that doesn't really matter because it's a free to play game though anyway. Nothing too exciting here, some low rent sports games and a bit of shovelware, and this Harry Potter Book of Spells PlayStation Move thing. For full disclosure, I just chucked those PlayStation Move things straight in the recycling. They're worth 1p to trade in at a local retro game store chain that is prevalent in this country, and not worth anything to sell, or they're not even worth anything to buy, like £1 to buy really, so I just chuck them in the recycling. And then we move on to this stack of PC games. You can see we've got Dungeon Siege, Sid Meier's Pirates, Star Wars, Empire at War, Jedi Knight. We've got a few of the Football Manager games, a few of the Battlefield games, and an expansion or two here and there for various things. Rollercoaster Tycoon 3, SimCity 4 Deluxe Edition, a couple of the Total War games. We've got a really nice variety of stuff for the PC there. The majority of which I kept the cases for. Only a couple of them, like the miscellaneous sports titles, I shrink down and throw into the disc binder. As you can see in the video, I've just put a few more games onto my stack of stuff to keep. We've got Drive Club for PlayStation 4 and a few other bits. And then I've got this copy of Hitman Absolution, which I put to one side because I decided to give that to my partner. I know that might seem really greedy. I just ordered huge stacks of stuff for myself and I'll give him just one game that's worth like £1.50 to my partner, but they're not as much into games as me, and I'm more about collecting and stuff. They play up a small amount of stuff, and it's a duplicate I didn't need, and it's something they expressed interest in that franchise. So I thought I would give that to them, and they're more than welcome to raid all my games whenever they want anyway, so they basically get access to everything. I can see Canis Canem Edit actually, which is PlayStation 2 Bully. I think it was only called that in Europe, isn't it? Not actually called Bully in the PlayStation 2 in Europe, but it's still in that stack there. Yeah, that ended up going in the bin, like I said earlier. Didn't know it was in the footage. And there's this copy of South Africa 2014 World Cup, whatever the hell it's called, football, FIFA rubbish. The case arrived shattered and like stamped on and ruined. So yeah, that has to be put in the disc binder. There's no choice really how mangled the case was. I'll throw on screen now, you can see the size of the box. You can see it here and there in the footage, but here's an individual photograph of what the box looked like. It was, I have no idea how much it weighed, but it was incredibly heavy and I had to carry it up several flights of stairs. My god, was that a heavy box. But it was like every childhood Christmas at once when I opened it up. Just pulling out handful after handful of gaming goodness. It was an incredibly cool experience to unpack all of that. And moving on to this next section of the footage, we've got peripherals. We've got SingStar microphones, we've got a spare battery pack for an Xbox 360 controller, we've got a Disney Infinity portal, a LEGO Dimensions portal, and also a Skylanders portal, which I ended up getting rid of because I already have one for the 360, so I didn't need that one as well. And then a little bit extra film later on in the day here. One of the many copies of Forza Motorsport 3 that I now have. So I ended up with 2 in this bundle, and I've got about 5 of the bloody manuals now, because when I first bought a copy it came with 3 manuals for some demented reason. But one of the copies of the game that came in this bundle came with an unused code for this Top Gear DLC, which says it has Stig's Garage 3 car pack and an Xbox Live Top Gear theme. Now the code, as you can see in the back, had never been scratched off, and I couldn't see any expiration date listed anywhere on the code itself. I did try to redeem it through the Xbox, but it didn't work, and online, and it did recognise the code hadn't been redeemed, but then it just kept coming up different error messages when trying to redeem it. I'm assuming this is because the Xbox 360 marketplace is now closed down. If I'd managed to redeem this before that point, I imagine it would have given me the DLC, no trouble, but because the 360 marketplace is now shut down, sadly I was not able to redeem this. Although that is only a minor gripe. So all in all, Far Cry 2, variety of Guitar Heroes, Dishonored, Sonic games, various sports titles, Fallout, Mario's, and just all sorts of different stuff. Call of Duties, Burnout, Watch Dogs, Skylanders, Cooking Mama, Plants vs Zombies, Garden Warfare, Gran Turismo's, Tom Clancy's. Overall, this came with such a variety of stuff, and almost all the stuff came with manuals. Only 1 or 2, well, no, more accurately, about 15, only 1 or 2. About 15 of them came in cases that weren't so great condition, but the great thing about getting rid of so many cases and downsizing the physical collection by putting a load of them in this binder meant I was able to replace loads of the games I was interested in and did want to put on the shelf that had poor quality cases, and like swap out all those FIFA cases and use them as substitutes for the games I did care about. Like the Cooking Mama copy for the Wii came vandalised with like metallic felt tip drawn all over Mama that said something like Evil Mama or something ridiculous, I don't know what it said. But I just took that case away, and the cover itself hadn't been drawn on, just the outer plastic case, so I just gave it a new case. Super Mario Galaxy's case had like brown slime all over it. The whole collection though, an interesting thing about it, it was very clearly, because the taste, if you've noticed what games have been bought across all the different systems, it might not be so clear in the footage, but this is one person, it was one man's collection, predominantly his collection, but also that extended to what his family and his children's tastes were. It's predominantly one person's collection of about 20-25 years. So from shooters to the sports things, the Battlefields, the FIFAs and the sports manager games, and everything else that encompassing the collection, very much this one person's taste. So to be able to unpack a whole person's collection, it's like their gaming history and their lived archive, I suppose, of what their tastes were. And it's kind of like you're inheriting all of that and absorbing it into your own collection. So I did enjoy exploring the box of goodies and seeing what was inside and seeing what the conditions everything were. And so far so good. I've been enjoying some of these games. If I ever wanted to, I could certainly make a considerable bit of money back on various things if I wanted to get rid of them, but I'm more than happy with what I paid. Disclaimer that, it might seem like being a bit of a hoarder buying so many physical games, but that's why about half the collection, maybe even more, half the games that I got went straight into my disc binder, and a few more have since gone into it as well. Probably about another 6 games that you see here in the video since gone into the disc binder, and a couple of them of course didn't work, so had to be chucked. But yeah, that was a little insight into this gaming bundle. I think it was well worth £140 for the sheer variety of stuff and the quality of items that was contained in it. It was a load of fun to open, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. I'm recording this with a bit of a sore throat, not feeling too good, and various personal circumstance things going on. I hope to keep making videos because that's going to keep me sane over the coming weeks and months, with a home move which is being enforced by our new landlord, because the property's been sold, and the day after it's been sold the new landlord wants us to F off basically and leave, so that's always fun. Can't wait to have a stressful 2 months trying to find a new home, but I'm going to keep on making videos because that will keep me sane and my mind occupied alongside work. But thank you for watching this. I'm going to have to do a game room tour before I move out of this place, because that'll be interesting to look back on and cool to show you guys properly. But thank you for watching this. It's been nice looking back to this footage from last August, and I hope you all have a great day.